During spiritual emergency, some areas that clients commonly describe are not covered in scientific or medical textbooks because they relate to movements of energy or life force. Clients refer to kundalini, a Sanskrit term for energy that powerfully rises up the spine. They talk of white light or energy pouring in through the head. Energy centers called chakras being over-energized or closed up. Their energy field feeling displaced or out of balance. Energy pathways or meridians that feel blocked. Undiagnosable pains that move from place to place. Intuitives easily understand such descriptions, but very few professionals understand.
Because I was alone in all of this, and go to see a doctor and tell them you're feeling all this energy and tell them that you're freaking out. They don't know what to do.
It's important for physicians to realize that the kundalini is a very real force. It's a powerful force, so it's not one that needs to be feared, but it does need to be respected.
Times of internal, emotional, and mental clearing often follow a spiritual awakening, as if all that is not congruent with the new awareness needs to go. The openness may melt the walls that keep memories in the subconscious, and so undigested past pain comes up. Consequently, people may end up on a roller coaster, alternating between tremendous love and bliss and the dark night of the soul.
It feels like a death because it is an ego death, but what's being destroyed is what's not really us, and what is being left behind is our true self, our true identity, which is at a much deeper level than the ego level we've been functioning at this point in time in our history. So as this force is clearing away old ways of being that no longer serve us, if we're attached to these old ways of being or these identities, and we're being asked to release them or let go of them, when we fight, that's when we suffer.
During this time of internal clearing, people are usually very sensitive to vibrations, other people's emotions, to shopping malls. Memories from past lives may resurface for clearing. Their increased openness may make them aware of astral entities, some of which feel negative. Because so much of this lies outside measurable science, some professionals have thought that these people are making things up. Another possibility is that we have not considered these cases sufficiently to provide practical understanding, information, and caretaking procedures.
It's not just expensive, it's when you treat spiritual emergency, it can be very with wrong approach. It's like with any problem, if you misunderstand the nature and deal with it wrongly, you can actually screw up things. I've seen some people in spiritual emergency treated with traditional psychiatry, and instead of 3 days, the recovery took 2, 3, 4 months.
To find out more about the effect of profound awakening, I had 110 people fill out a 4-page questionnaire. A common belief is that awakenings only happen to people engaged in spiritual or religious practice. Yet 43% of these participants weren't practicing anything prior to their first experience. Nearly a third of these people needed no adjustment time. Life went on, whereas 44% took a few years to fully integrate their experience. The majority of people remained in full-time work. However, 17% were unable to work or on disability. People reported that their difficulty working was due to lack of focus, feeling oversensitive, spaced out, troubled, or having headaches. Nearly a quarter of these people needed a new career direction after the experience. Where did people go for help? Over a quarter talked to their medical doctor. Many were helped. Many left the doctor's office feeling devastated. Around 12% consulted a psychiatrist and fared similarly. Around 1 in 5 sought a naturopathic doctor. 89% of these visits were positively rated. Almost half the people went to an energy worker, and these visits again were positively rated. Spiritual emergency falls between disciplines and is not fully understood by science and medicine, and yet also not fully understood by spirituality and religion. During spiritual emergency, people need more than just faith in their practice. And while a new category has been introduced in the DSM-4 to encompass spiritually related problems, most medical doctors don't have spiritual emergence training. Where do people go for help?
So all the yoga teachers sort of know about kundalini yoga, but they don't really, they know, and they've heard of kundalini emergences, but they don't really know exactly what they are or what the symptoms are. So it's not really, it'd be nice if they knew what to look for that way if they saw them.
I just think it would be helpful if more doctors knew about kundalini, and I wouldn't say that the doctors have to be experts on kundalini, but just if they have an idea what some of the unusual symptoms are.
Hopefully, more health professionals, spiritual teachers and therapists will come to recognize the signs of spiritual emergence. A medical history and appropriate medical tests can check for any underlying physiological basis. We can also take a spiritual history. When medical tests show nothing unusual, it may be helpful to refer to alternative professionals. When spaced out and oversensitive, a good energy worker can help restore balance. Spiritual counselors can help understand what's happening. A good therapist can help clear arising memories and emotions. The company of other people in spiritual emergence is validating and reassuring.
Gosh, I'm not the only one. I thought I was the only one in the whole universe that, nobody could understand anywhere. But as soon as I knew others had gone through it, and as soon as I knew there were people that were kind of like focused on that, I felt like, I had more joy than one could imagine. When I told that to the energy worker, she basically said, I've had a similar thing. It's called kundalini energies. You have to be very, very careful with that, she said. And I never heard the name before. I thought it was like a pasta, kundalini with cheese, or it sounded like it.
I think it's very helpful to have somebody who's had this kind of experience themselves to talk to.
Would have had someone to talk to that could understand. If I ever spoke to my friends, I just freaked them out. If I spoke with medical practitioners, they just sort of laugh you off and try and get you out the door. And who else is there,
Sometimes Kundalini awakening is the beginning of a healing process.